Welcome to NovaLeague.
I'm Rando.
I'm Gremlin.
And I'm Advocide. And today, we're doing something a little different from our usual videos.
But it's something we've been tentatively planning almost since the channel started.
We were originally planning on secretly developing a fan game called Pokemon Nova, and then surprising all 200 of our subscribers at the time. But while talking on stream the other day, I realized that we'd be missing out on my favorite thing about the Pokemon community: collaboration.
So we've decided to start making videos introducing our ideas for the Fakemon region, and we hope that you will comment your feedback and ideas so we can work to make the region with the creative input of our viewers.
If you really want to get involved, consider joining our Discord with the link in the description. And if you like this sort of video, make sure to let us know. It's new for us, so we're terrified.
Now, before we get into talking about our Fakemon starters, I'll say that unlike some other Fakemon region videos, we can't draw Pokemon, but I do like making pixel art, as you might have noticed that Randy's sprite is different.
I killed the last guy.
So all of the Pokemon we'll be showing here will be sprite based, and we definitely are looking for some constructive criticism. Remember, the fun of this is the collaboration.
Now, just to set the scene, the region idea that we have is loosely based on California. We don't have a map yet, but the setting is important to understand our starters.
The idea is that the player will start in a small desert town and make their way to the professor, who is also the first gym leader and sort of a park ranger type person, a naturalist who researches the desert. Before you go, you're able to choose a starter as a gift that appeared at your front door.
And when you open this gift, you are presented with these options. Rando, why don't you lead us off?
Meet our first starter, Cubble, a pebble Pokemon, a grass and rock type. The smallest of all known starter Pokemon, Cubble is a reclusive bear often mistaken for a pebble. Some people are known to toss groups of Cubble into lakes to skip them. Cubble hide beneath blankets of moss and cry themselves to sleep to cope with the wrath of the world. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Look at him, he's a cub, but a pebble. I'd pick this tiny pathetic bear as my partner, but what would Gremlin pick?
Our second starter of the region is Fawnfire, the fire starter Pokemon, a pure fire type. If left unchecked, these Pokemon will run rampant and will gladly cause forest fires on purpose. These energetic Pokemon require the care of their family unit to keep them mellow. They can run faster than most cars on the freeway, but if they run for more than 5 minutes, they explode, expelling all their energy and losing their flames. This little guy's a baby deer, but it's not quite a normal deer. You'll notice it doesn't have antlers yet, and that's not because it's still just a baby. But before we see what it turns into, let's check out our last option.
Our final starter is Squipod. Squipod? Squeepid. He's a bit squeepid. How does Google pronounce this?
Squipod.
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 Squipod. Say it again for the people in the back.
Squipod.
Ah. Our final starter is Squipid, the stupid Pokemon, a pure water type. This Pokemon has no clue what it is doing. They are known to dabble in all forms of artistic expression, and they aren't particularly good at any. The art these creatures create have been known to cause excruciating headaches to any witnesses. One of Squipid's design features is his face looking like a recorder. This is based off of, like, when you're in elementary school and for some reason they made every kid learn how to play the recorder? Hot Cross Buns? Or was that just us? Anyways, Squipid is not good at making music, and it isn't even sure that it wants to be musical. It's still figuring itself out.
Okay, what if I don't care about this loser? My little rock is evolving into, whoa, get this, a bigger rock. I mean, what did you expect, you know? This is the Boss Rock Pokemon, Boldeer.
Boldeer.
Still a grass and rock type. When near Boldeer, Eevee can evolve into a Leafeon. Boldeer prefers to hunt other grass type Pokemon to absorb their energy, as the moss on their body does not provide enough energy on its own. Boldeer can hardly move and is in a near constant state of hibernation. There's not a lot going on here. He's just kind of bigger. He definitely won't be kicked around and bullied anymore though, but he's very eepy. I bet this makes you rethink every Moss Rock you've ever seen. Probably was a bear maybe.
Hey, shut up for a second, my starter's evolving also. Huh, his fire's gone. This is Fangspark, the Fire Fang Pokemon. Still a pure fire type. Fangspark can create enough energy in their hooves to cook the ground on which they walk. Their fangs are made of a hardened metal, which seems to have magnetic properties. If heated by the breath of a particularly energetic Fangspark, the metal fangs start to glow and create sparks of static electricity. This electric energy cannot be maintained, however, as it quickly fades into pitiful smoke. He's a bit mellowed out now and sort of burnt out, but something's cooking. And you'll notice too, still no antlers, but he does have fangs. That's because he's based off the musk deer, which have fangs instead of antlers.
Yeah, but Fang Spark's got nothing on Squipid's evolution. Scuttlebrush, the experimental Pokemon, still a pure water type. Scuttlebrush should get... Scuttlebrush. Google, show me this guy's pronunciation.
Scuttlebrush.
Scuttlebrush have gathered the energy of the agonizing mental anguish that their art elicits in its victims and stores it as magic water-based paint, to later be used as fuel to create even more agonizing works of art. Their stomach is protected by a flat plate of calcified shell-like material where they keep splotches of their magical paint for later. This dude's art will literally kill you. Probably like this pixel art has been. Did Grem say he made the sprites? Check again. I think Scuttlebrush made them. You have 2 minutes left to live.
Actually, you have about 30 seconds to live because Boulder is evolving. And there's no escaping the wrath of Grizzop, the entire actual mountain Pokemon. Grizzop is the largest known starter Pokemon. Finally able to defend itself, it unleashes its wrath upon the world, tearing down mountains to lie in their place. They do their best to protect wild Cubble by gathering them into caves, and then using their large bodies to block the cave entrance. Get through that, idiot. If anything mildly threatening approaches, including you, that means you right there. Who's watching this right now? You? You're about to get eaten. Grizzop will tear it to shreds with its metal claws. Yeah, I mean, that's the logical conclusion to this line, right? Also, it's the obvious best choice. Nothing's beating it. Nothing.
Yeah, well, I can outrun it at least, because Fangspark has evolved one last time into Ampire, the electrical fire Pokemon, a fire-electric type. Ampire contain enough energy to power a house, though the energy can overwhelm itself if left contained. Excess energy is expelled through special openings in the head, where it is expressed as electricity. Ampire can use its fangs to redirect the electricity to create bolts of lightning, burning its target with the heat of the sun. So fun fact, Ampire still doesn't have antlers. That's just electricity that looks like antlers. Also, its name does sound like vampire, alluding to the fangs, but it's actually just a combination of Ampere and Pyre. Neat.
Yeah, but not as swag as this though. Check it out. Scuttlebrush has evolved into Creatilus, the creativity Pokemon, a water psychic type. Creatilus have mastered the art of art. Some suggest that the art these Pokemon create is actually not that good. However, this Pokemon's psychic powers have developed so strongly that it can manipulate people into believing that it's actually good art. Kinda makes me think that there's a little Creatilus hiding in every copy of Gremlin's book. This guy is a full-on cephalopod combination, bringing in elements of octopus, squid, cuttlefish, and nautilus. His magic paint water is full of psychic energy, and he will give you a headache about it.
So in designing these starters, I had a few things in mind. The Cubble line, I think, is the most simple and straightforward. The idea, of course, is that a small, shy cub evolves to become a massive, aggressive bear, showcasing the varieties of plant-rock combos in nature. From the pebble on the forest floor, buried by leaves, to the mossy boulder, to the mountain hosting an entire forest. The idea for this line originally came from the mountain town in California called Big Bear. That was pretty much it. The Fawnfire line was a fun one for me, inspired by the connection that fire has to electricity. Fawnfire itself is fairly simple, even its name, which just sounds like a fawn on fire. Fawnfire on fire, you get it. But Fangspark is where it starts to get interesting. The dots on its neck allude to both the exhausts where excess energy is spewed, but also it sort of looks like a vampire bite, foreshadowing its final evolution. And Empire really ties together the connection. Live wires spewing electricity can often cause fires to break out, and I like the idea of exploring other ways that fires can be caused in a Pokemon design. I imagine this thing's signature move would be an electric spark that is likely to cause a burn. This line was inspired by the act of putting reflective paint or tape on deer's antlers so they don't get hit by cars. Because like, dude, look at this, right? The Squipid line is one of my favorites, as believe it or not, Squipid was the first Fakemon I ever drew in a sketchbook in like 2019. I think Advocide already explained it all pretty well, but the idea here is about honing creativity. The first form is themed around music, but it's not good at it, so it tries painting, and then its third eye opens and Creatilus discovers its true potential. This line was inspired by the entertainment industry in California and the amount of artists in it, but also by the color changing ability of the cuttlefish as well as the intelligence of the octopus. I know that a lot of actual Pokemon regions and Fakemon regions tend to like to include a secondary type triangle to keep things relatively balanced, but for these three, I thought it would be fun to go with the type combos I wish we would see in the official games for starters at some point. Speaking of which, we don't actually have a name for our region yet, so if you have any suggestions, that'd be great. But after all that, we're done for now. Those are the starters of Pokemon Nova.
Make sure to like and subscribe, and check out our other Pokemon videos. You won't regret it.
Now get out of here. We've got more Fakemon to make.